Dante. Mephistopheles doesn't roar and grumble ahead all day long. Mephisto is an engine that needs rest from time to time, much like how Karen is still a human who needs regular breaks. You still awake, Miss Faust? There are a few things left to check, as the engine is treated harshly during operation. It needs to be well maintained while at rest. To substantiate her word, Faust carried light tools and a small mechanical device in place of her usual Y-hander. You're working hard. This barely counts as work. To witness Faust's magnum opus cordis being overworked with no time for care takes a greater toll, rather. You said this after making a light smile. Do you like this update in particular? Faust looked down at me using a handheld device. Oh, this thing? Yes. I believe previously you weren't fiddling with it as often. It's nothing much, I was just making the most of this new feature I've needed. Whenever Faust requires a break for routine maintenance, my LCB PDA also received updates. The updates occasionally come with additional functions, and this time... A note? The device didn't have this functionality until now. It didn't, surprisingly enough. You didn't know that? I thought you were omniscient, Faust. Faust only knows everything that Faust knows. Pardon me for a moment. She took a peek at the screen of my tablet. Are you attempting to write encyclopedia, Dante? I mean, you keep using words I don't know, stuff like fixers, whatever wings are. It might be common vocabulary for you all, but not me. I understand. I do suppose you've lost all memory of the city. Yep. But I want to write down most stuff here. And copy down the things I've been scribbling on paper while I'm at it. Talk on my shoulders could be replaced with yet another head at any moment. There's no guarantee the memories I have right now will stay with me. That's why I must prepare a backup plan like this. So I don't forget twice. What the hell?! Without warning, the bus ground to a sudden halt in the back streets. We'll stop here today. Karen, I fear we haven't quite reached the destination. We're approximately 15% short of target location. Considering our schedule, proceeding at least 2% farther would be ideal. Karen's sleepy. Excellent bus drivers don't drive while sleepy. Got it. Stop stomping the brakes every damn time! You know how much you've done this? Forsooth! Sir Heathcliff have crashed his nose into the back of the front seat for the 4th time, which must signify that this is the 4th screeching halt to occur! Leave the wheel as soon as you start feeling sleepy, said the radio. That's a good point, but you need to be a bit more flexible about that sort of thing. The statement as plain as that can be quite amusing depending on who says it. The minted boy agrees with me. It's funny when the least flexible ones say that kind of gabble. What was that? As we were playing out, what about that old fogey over there who still thinks she's a wartime general? Ishmael pointed to Otis, whose veins were beginning to stick out on her veteran and placid face. This is a prime example of the terror of learned fear. It happened enough to be familiar, but it's still rather intimidating to hear Virgilius send the bus into chilling silence with a single gesture or utterance. What is it? We were all happily chattering moments ago. No reason not to continue. Any sign to go on our proper run page after? I was stretching. Felt a bit stiff. Laugh wildly. They're like dogs that drool at the sound of a bell. You've got complaints. Remember my office in the back always has open hours. I'll make time for consultations. Miss Faust, I leave the rest to you. Of course. Virgilius nonchalantly walked past the sinners in their precinct days, with Karen at his side, and stood at the back of the bus. Open Carola. It's Sesame, Karen. Karen knows. It's not like magic phrases or what open door anyways. I suppose so. When they exchanged corny jokes, the door large enough to fill the backside slowly open. In a few months, it still weirds me out every time I see it. It's bigger on the inside, right? As the back door opened, a splendid, narrow, deep, spacious hallway revealed itself. An endless corridor that looked to go on forever. Far into this hallway, classy poles demarcate the end of the area we're allowed to traverse, standing in front of the unending line of red lights. Though the place seems comfy, something about it makes eerie feelings creep up. Now that I think about it, isn't that one of those singularities belonging to a wing? Frau Faust, do you know anything? Of course it is known, but I am certain you do not know I cannot speak of them in much detail, Herr Gregor. Could stand to be a bit nicer. This is a corridor. That's correct. It's a corridor. Huh. Sure is. Long hallways, doors to rooms on both sides. Of course it's a corridor. IF. What are you trying to... Whatever, I'm too tired. Dante, please hurry on with it. Gregor's words stabbed me out of idly staring down to the edge of the passage. Oh, yeah, right. Dante, well I understand you may feel it to be an unnecessary repetitive act. Simply put, the executive manager's approval is a vital part of the procedure. Please understand. No need to put it like that, Miss Faust. With that answer, I got up from my seat and stood at the front of the bus, looking at the crew. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you'll all be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. As soon as Faust finished speaking, the sinners walked along with groans and sighs. Ah, jeez. Man, I'm whipped. A fine night, young Sinclair. What say you another game of chess? No thanks, Don Quixote. You always run to mystery you sang for hints whenever you're losing. That is untrue, Sinclair. That was because I could not bear to watch the grievous misplacements. That's even worse! Bonsu, manager, and thank you for today's work. As for tonight's watch... Oh, myself. Thanks for suggesting. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling sleepy today. Then, Otis suddenly intervened. Executive Manager, let me remind you I'm always willing to stand in for night watch duty if you ever feel fatigued. Yeah, babushka to count. How about we get inside now? Executive Manager, your hard daytime work must... Sure, let's get you to bed. Ishmael gave me a small nod and proceeded to drag chaperone Otis through the back door of Rodeo. Then, at last, Faust and I remained. That was fortunate, Dante. Had they not forced Otis to retire, she would have nagged you for the duty of night watch for quite a while again. This happened a lot. I commented back as I watched the sinners head into the corridor, one after another. After Rogia entered and closed the door, Ishmael opens the same to get inside. You said the door leads to a different space each time it opens, right? Yes. As long as the sinner is in the right mental condition, the door will open to the door will lead to lodging appropriate for rest and personal use. Lodging, is it? They look more like jail cells this time I came through the window. Still, she must mean it can be used as a personal living space, for sleep, showers, self-care, all that. You seem to have other questions beside that. My clock has no eyes, nose, or mouth again. Somehow feels as if Faust reads something out of me. Not that she'll tell me how she manages it. No, just curious about what's over there. I pointed down the far end of the corridor with my finger, right to the horizontal depths of the seemingly endless corridor. As I have told you repeatedly, it is best to not be curious about it, Dante. As expected, Faust chose to walk into the corridor with a faint sigh instead of a real answer. And yet, just maybe, Faust knew all along. She knows it all, as she likes to say. Maybe she knew I'd learn about what lies beyond that corridor soon enough. It happened exactly a week after that fruitless exchange. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you will all be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. Faust gives the same instruction as always. In response, the sinners groan and stretch like usual. Except this time, one sinner stuck out of that normalcy like a sore thumb. What now? Even big, is she? It's not the first time he's all grumpy like that, is it? And he, make sure to simmer down before I get in your room, okay? All that grumbling and thunder in there keeps me awake, you know. The sinner's room, their logic, personal space, and cell reflect their state of mind, or so I've heard. Each room's floors, walls, and overall ambience are shaped after the sinner's personality. And the view through the window changes depending on their emotion and mental state. Though, all I've seen are distant glimpses through the window, so I don't have all the details. The room Heathcliff The room Heathcliff enters would sometimes, actually rather frequently, emit wuthering and stormy sounds. Usually he'd snap back with a, "Why should I?" or something like that. But he only clicked his tongue. Suppose he doesn't feel like arguing. Thanks to that, he stood in the corridor until all other sinners, save for Faust, went into their rooms, staring down the passage with a frown. Maybe he's relieving stress this way. Uh-huh. And that right there is where the incident began. Huh? Boy, it's all the doors down the aisle. Heathcliff pointed in the exact same direction I did a week ago. His doorways were beyond the no trespassing line blocking the way. Heathcliff, I recommend against walking farther into the corridor than necessary. Huh? Sure, it makes it sound awful suspicious. There is nothing of which to be suspicious. We're better off listening to Faust. What, keep treasures or some such in there? Faust's secretive attitude was enough to rouse his curiosity. Heathcliff, do not do it. You will regret your action. Got well motioning Gobby, eh? It's cleverest. It's like, you're actually hiding something in there! He sprinted into the dark before we could stop him. What's in there? Just as I was about to ask, was Faust's obvious thing to be concerned over. Ah! Heathcliff's sharp scream echoed from the unit area far into the corridor. Dante, now is the time to take my left hand and run with me. What? Huh? I won't be able to get him out in time on my own. I may be engulfed myself if I don't act quickly. Before I could process what she meant, Faust ran off in the direction Heathcliff disappeared. Ah, shuckaroonies! Wait for me! Shuckaroonies? Dante, what the fuck? What are we doing? Anyways. As we crossed the line and proceeded deeper into the corridor, we came across a three-way crossroads. I think I heard screams coming from the middle. However, without a moment's hesitation, Faust darted for the left aisle. Faust, I know you're in a hurry, but are you sure this is the right way? I could have sworn I heard his voice coming from the center path. I know. Without elaborating further, Faust continues running. At another fork we encountered, Faust chose the right path. Right afterwards, she entered the fifth door to the left side of the hallway. What is this? Right as I entered, another hall came into view. Its end. It's like a cliff. To be more precise, I felt some kind of gravitational pull trying to get me to fall to the end of the hallway. Heathcliff! Then I saw him. He crawled towards us with all his might from the middle of the hallway. As if he might fall the moment he lets go. What the hell is all this? In this place! Even though I couldn't see much in the dark behind him, I definitely felt some presence in it. Faust, what's over? Dante, I'm going to hold him out of the door tight. Firmly grip my hand as well. Holding my hand securely, she gradually approaches Heathcliff. This hallway isn't tilted or anything, is it? Why does it feel like we're hanging off a cliff? That is because we're in a corridor. Obviously, Dante. Do not let go. Reminding me to hold fast, Faust extended her other arm while holding her his right-hander. Heathcliff, grab this if you would. Are you mental? My hand will get gashed if I try grabbing that giant blade! You'll much prefer deep wounds on your palms to what you can suffer down there. Baffled, Heathcliff looked at the sword in the darkness behind him. Bug up! Dante, pull him up. Might and main. Got it! Right as we pulled Heathcliff up. No, I'm not sure if it's even right to say we pulled him up, but nevertheless, Faust hoisted his unconscious body by the legs and started rushing, saying we need to return the way we came. Following her lead, I supported his arms and trailed behind, keeping his head from dragging along the floor. After burning some time. Whew. Let us say it was fortunate he wasn't lost in the deeper area. Dante, you will have to turn the clock. Heathcliff's gonna be okay, right? Psychological damage is likely to be severe. Our work will be encumbered if he loses his mind. I didn't have a choice. Good work back there, Dante. Well, it is unfortunate we have lost a portion of our limited break time to this. Faust, just what's in there? Where does it lead? Can you tell me at this point? I've seen that stuff now. It's only natural that I want to know, or resides there and what was chasing me for. Moreover, why did it never show itself to us? Why did it vanish instead of chasing me any further? Those questions were driving me crazy, but alas. As stated earlier, there are limits to what Faust can elaborate. Yep, honestly didn't expect much. The corridor, you IF. Ryoshu muttered with a cigarette in her mouth. walking past us both. She must have left her room while we were out on our investigation. However, Faust proceeded as if not a soul had walked by, as if nothing was said. Huh? You did prevent a sudden vacancy in the bus department. Though I wouldn't exactly call it a reward, I do suppose it isn't a bad idea to inform you of one thing. Ooh, let me hear it. The unexpected boon had me rubbing my hands together. Right, what will she tell me now? Dante, when you traverse a road you've never walked before, what do you do? I mean, use a map, obviously. That's right. Then, even if you don't have a map, your brain will form images to serve as one. From there, on that map, there will be a starting point and a destination clearly marked. When you return from your trip, you will trace back to the way. It's so obvious I don't need to verbally answer. I just nod along. Hopefully that makes it clear enough. Huh? This is why you should remember where you started in the corridor, especially when you open a door. Flabbergasted by the abrupt end, I blurted, "Now then, Faust has grown tired, but do take care." She walked through the door before I could say anything, leaving me with a riddle. Of course it would go like this. I sighed out of frustration, but not a breath of air is expelled from my pitiful plot. Still, left powerless. All I can do is boot up the electronic notebook and piece together what little information I have collected.